Hello, welcome to Revive Hi-Fi Canada, and our latest episode features a pair of vintage British speakers, the Castle Tay speakers. This is pretty interesting actually. These are from a while back. I would say they go about 30 years back, and these have some very nice construction. So as you can see, they are pretty nice wood cabinets. They're about 16, 17 inches tall, and they have the reverse configuration, as I call it. They have the nice, it's real wood veneer, so they look excellent. This is a great example of them. They've been kept all right. And they have the very nice real wood veneer cabinets with the castle on the back. They're bi-wireable. Excellent gold terminals. Just a very well constructed speaker with the, as you can see on the left side, they don't have magnetic grills, but what they have are these really cool curved grills. So they're pretty nice to look at even for now. I know they're a vintage speaker, but they're very nice. They have the inverted woofer on top with the tweeter on the bottom, which is popular, I know, with a lot of speakers we reviewed from Mission. Here again, they have the similar type of configuration, but as you can see, the tweeter is just slightly offset from the woofer. So there's some speakers just choose to do it this way. They also have a front port. You can see on the left side on the speaker at the bottom, there is a front port. So these are pretty easy to place. I know they're quite large to be put on a bookshelf, but you can put them closer to a wall because they have that front. They have the front port that doesn't, pump air out the back of as compared to a back port, and give you that booming sound when you're against the wall. It's more of a refined sound, and refined is the main word I would use to describe the sound of these speakers. Very refined, excellent sounding speakers. Definitely the way that they're constructed, they have a kind of a polymer type of dome tweeter. It feels like a sort of plastic type of tweeter, like a composite material. And they also have a woofer that it's made of white. I can only guess that is a white plastic polypropylene type material that makes up the woofer. I did run into a problem with these speakers. They may be prone, at least the one I got was had some cracks, so I had to do some repairs on that woofer. They do sound still great. They sound exceptionally clear. They sound a lot better now that I did the repair. They do sound excellent. I do have to say that they're quite large. They take you a little bit by surprise. They're a good 16 inches tall, and they do have, because the front port is there, it allows for easier placement, but the trade-off is that they have a kind of, they have to have that space at the front for the front port, and that adds height to the speaker. So you can only imagine looking at the speaker on the right side, that if that port was on the back, you could actually chop off a good 5 to 6 inches. And many of the speakers of today, and I'll be reviewing, I reviewed the Wharfdale, for example, Diamond 12.1, and that has about 12 inches tall, and that has a rear port. So this technically would have a size closer to about 12 inches if the port was on the rear. It also has a 5.25 inch woofer, a 5-inch woofer, and that would be similar again to the Wharfdale Diamond 12.1. That's a modern speaker, or the KEF Q150, or later on we're going to feature the Definitive Technology SM45s. Those are also a 5.25 inch woofer, and those are all in a much smaller cabinet. The Polk RTI A1 is another 12-inch tall speaker that has a smaller cabinet because the port is in the back. So this is a different configuration. It's a smaller woofer that's in a very large box. So as far as the construction of the box, the bracing, the construction of the speaker is top notch. It is excellent. There is a slightly it is very thick wood. But at the same time, when I do knock on it, there is a slight hollowness to it, and I think that is not because of a lack of bracing in this case. This is just the sheer size of the box. It's quite large, so you can see on my stands, it's pretty big. So that could be it, and I would say though they're beautifully made. They're just excellent. So as far as the sound signature goes, these have, we'll start with the highs. The highs are, because it's a soft dome tweeter, I expected it to have a little bit more of a softened, a bit more softened on the highs, but that's not exactly what I got. I got actually kind of the perfect level of highs. I didn't get anything that was lacking detail, so it wasn't too soft that I missed detail. It got all the details, that's for sure. These are very remarkable in that regard, but it also wasn't shrill. So they're not shrill. They play very well. I mean, on some recordings, I suppose it could come across shrill, but overall, on most of the things I tried, most of the recordings that I tried on these speakers, they weren't shrill, and they were very entertaining to listen to. It's hard to stop listening when you listen to these speakers. The mids are of course beautiful and lush, and that's typically what I expect from these British speakers. A lot of them have excellent mid-range. Voices come through very clear, and for the age of this speaker, I would consider it to sound exceptionally clear overall. It surprised me. The lows, I mean, the lows I'd say is where they might be a little bit lacking, and you know, so they're lacking lows. It would be working well with a subwoofer. It would probably be a nice suggestion to have a subwoofer. Considering these are close to about 30 years old, I would say the clarity that you get in the mids and highs is almost worth adding that subwoofer. And yeah, I would say that these they sound exceptional. So and the only thing I would say, yeah, is you're not going to get any real deep bass from these speakers, and that's where I see sometimes the differentiation between the speakers that are made today with a 5-inch woofer versus those that are made, you know, 20, 30 years ago, is that sometimes you get a bit better bass with the newer speakers in the smaller boxes with the rear ports, and they tend to have maybe more technology that aids them as far as clarity goes. These are right there with some of my newer speakers in terms of clarity. So that they don't lose there, but they do lose a little bit on the bass. And I don't feel like I need the subwoofer. It's not a huge need when I'm listening to these, so I wouldn't not choose these because of the lack of bass. But I really enjoy these, and we're gonna play a sample of these in the next little bit here, and I'm gonna compare them to another speaker that we featured on the Keeper series, and we're comparing it to another British speaker, and it's called the Monitor Audio Silver 3i, and we're going to be featuring these on a Keeper series in the future, so I'm not going to talk a lot about those, but we're going to play them next to each other. I would consider the Monitor Audio Silver 3i a similar type of speaker because it has front ports. It is also has a 5-inch woofer in a very large box, but it's a smaller box than these. So these tended to go high. Whereas the Monitor Audios are stout and wide, and they have 2 front ports, and you'll see on the video when we play them. And I just thought as kind of a benchmark type of exercise, I would play these against the Monitor Audios. And of course, these are not meant for making any sort of decision, these sound tests. These are just kind of an example of how they might sound in your living room. This is my living room, and I play a lot of music in this room, and I just wanted to show some of the speakers that come across our desk here at Revive Hi-Fi Canada, and I hope that you enjoy this. We're just trying to bring joy to this lovely hobby that we've enjoyed over the past several years. So thank you very much for watching and listening, and we will be playing a sample soon, but thank you and see you next time. Bye now.
is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Dangerous times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world but keep the sky on your mind. Get on board. We're soaring on top of the what's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Dangerous times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever.